Introducing Meta Ray-Ban Display, the world's most advanced AI glasses. With a full color display built into the lens of the glasses, it's there when you need it and gone when you don't. Send and receive messages, translate or caption live conversations, collaborate with Meta AI, and more. Be one of the first to try Meta Ray-Ban Display. Visit meta.com/Meta Ray-Ban Display to book a demo and find your pair.
Hey, this is Stephen Rothberg. I am the host of the High Volume Hiring Podcast. Welcome back for another hopefully great edition. I'm also the founder and chief visionary officer of College Recruiter Job Sites, where we believe that every student and recent graduate deserves a great career and that it should be easy and inexpensive to hire them. We kind of sit at that intersection of early careers and high volume hiring, and that's why I'm doing the podcasts. My guest today is a talent acquisition leader. It's always great to hear from the people who are actually doing the work rather than people like on my side of the desk, on the vendor side. So Daniel Panizza from Phoenix Parts, welcome to the High Volume Hiring Podcast.
Hey, nice to be here.
So before we get into the meat of the conversation, maybe, take 30 seconds or a minute and kind of let the listeners know kind of like a little bit about your background, what you do in your role, what Phoenix Parts does.
Okay. So I've been in recruitment for about 9 years. I'd say half and half corporate and agency side. Started off in trucking recruitment, did that for 5 years. Formed my own recruitment firm that we ran for about 5 years as well. I had 10 contract recruiters hiring semi-truck drivers. Very strong with high volume recruitment. That was actually my niche for the longest time. Always working with top performers and breaking past goals that people have hit in the past, and also what they thought was possible, exceeding that as well. And then on top of that, I've worked, more on the headhunting side as well, doing mid and upper level search, anything from sales to technology, finance, all the way from entry level up to SVP.
And that's pretty different than high volume.
A lot different. The calls get a little bit longer at that.
Yeah. So Phoenix Parts has, if I remember correctly, it's like what, 26, 27 locations, automotive parts. Is that about the size?
So Phoenix Parts, we have about 28 locations across the country.
Okay.
Everything except West Coast. We have Northeast, Southeast, Midwest, and South. And we have about 1,100 employees and currently hit about 450 in annual revenue.
Okay, cool. And so I'm assuming it's probably, those employees are probably largely retail, warehouse, roles like that.
So essentially, we're one of the larger resellers and recyclers of used OEM automotive parts in the nation. So essentially, most of our 28 locations are salvage yards.
Okay.
So we hire mainly people to work in the salvage yards, dismantlers to take out the engines and transmissions, parts pullers to pull individual parts as they're sold. We hire a lot of inventory specialists, loader operators, heavy equipment operators, and then we do corporate hiring on the side at our Texas home base, where we'll also build out purchasing teams, marketing teams, finance managers, accounting, and some upper level positions throughout as well.
Okay. So, yeah. And so again, that kind of hiring, it, in some ways it's going to resemble, I would think, the trucking, a whole lot of people who are really good mechanically. You wouldn't want me in a salvage yard. Trust me. I don't care how much workers' comp coverage you've got. You don't have enough.
It's tricky.
So, one of the things that we were talking about before we jumped on was you're a big believer that speed matters, especially in high volume hiring. For the benefit of the viewers, talk a little bit about what you mean by speed, like when you think of speed.
So in high volume recruitment, it's really just a numbers game. High volume recruitment, you typically are hiring, non-white collar positions, a lot higher of a dropout rate compared to higher paying positions, of course. And, the in the trenches jobs, just typically across the board, no matter what industry, have a higher turnover rate. So, in my opinion, the best way to do it is to first start with beating the turnover rate. You have to
Mhm.
hire more people than you're losing. That's the first step. And then after you get to where it's leveled out and the building's not on fire anymore, that's whenever you start to work on retention projects and figuring out how to keep your people there so that you drop the retention, and then your over hiring is going even further. Um, so, what I really like to do when it comes to speed, first, there's two types of recruiters. You have farmers and you have hunters.
Yeah.
Farmers post the jobs and wait for the leads to come in and call them back to back. Hunters go out and look for people that might not be looking for work.
Sourcing.
So, yes, sourcing, headhunting. So, what I like to do and what I like to try to get my team to do is to have an all around focus, casting a wide net, being a farmer and a hunter at all times. So,
Mm.
the way that we'll typically start is your standard process where you'll do your intake call, find out what the hiring manager is looking for. We'll post the jobs, get them all live across any source that we can find. Of course, Indeed's big for high volume. You could use ZipRecruiter, Monster, all of those cool things. Get your jobs posted, maybe get them out, get the word out on Facebook groups.
Hmm.
And then if you're doing it right and you're spreading it out, depending on the city, if it's a high volume city, of course, it'll move a lot quicker. Within a day or two, you might have 100 leads to work or more. So the first way that I like to tackle them to speed it up is I'll take all of these leads at first, and this is just what I do, and it works very well. I'll take all of the leads, send a quick bulk email to every candidate that has applied, and I'll say, hey, nice to meet you. We noticed that you've applied for our opening XYZ. This is the basic stats of what the position is. If interested, shoot me a quick note back letting me know what time we can talk. So
Okay.
if you do that first, what happens is instead of sifting through these 100 leads one by one, making each phone call, making each text, making each email, you automatically have about 10 people calling you. So you
Ah.
can get your phone ringing first. And then once those calls start to slow down, then you start sifting through the ones that did not respond to your bulk email message.
Okay.
So that's kind of how I like to speed up the process. And we always also use this method where we call. If they don't answer, we email, and then we send a text. So it's a three-part method to make sure you got the message to them, they have it, and then that increases your chances of getting a call back.
So to be clear, if you post the ad on, say, Monday, you've got 100 leads. Tuesday, Wednesday, you're emailing them, you're having phone calls, some email correspondence, whatever, kind of Thursday, Friday. But those 100 people that you're getting back to on, let's call it Wednesday, you haven't really looked through their applications, right? Like if somebody applies but really is not well qualified, you're still emailing them. And is that
If we get the
the process?
if we get the leads going that fast, then it's just
Yeah.
quicker because then when they reply, we can check out their resume. If it appears that they're not a fit before we make the phone call, we'll just let them know, hey, this is what we're looking for in this role. I'll check for you to see if we have anything else. So then you will end up weeding out candidates like you normally would, but it actually happens faster because now they're reaching out to you. Because what you're doing is you're triggering the engagement first. So the
Yeah.
most engaged people that are keeping an eye on things, active job seekers, you're getting them to reach out to you first. So the hungriest person that wants that job is going to be the one that reaches out to you first. You get through those guys first.
Hey, everybody, I'm Lori Rudiman. What are you doing? Working? Nah, you're listening to a podcast about work, and that barely counts. So while you're at it, check out my show, Punk Rock HR, now on the Work Defined Network. We chat with smart people about work, power, politics, and money. Are we succeeding? Are we fixing work? Probably not. Work still sucks, but tune in for some fun, a little nonsense, and a fresh take on how to fix work once and for all.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I love it. As an owner of a job board, I can tell you that for these high volume kinds of roles, early career, entry level, call it what you may, the vast majority of candidates look at only three things when they're applying. They look at the job title, they look at the location, and they look at the compensation.
Yep.
So you can have the most beautifully written job description with the perfect requirements, preferences, all of that. they don't look at it until after they've heard from a recruiter.
Yeah.
So it's really, I mean, from the candidate's perspective too. And so like first one who gets a hold of me, that's who I'm going to talk to. If you get a hold of them on Thursday, there's a good chance that somebody's not going to contact them till the following Thursday, and they're already working for you.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, and when you do this, it also helps you identify people that are probably going to show up day one compared to others because they're hungry. They want that job more than somebody who's, not active. So it also helps with that.
Yeah. Not a good sign if it takes them 4 days to get back to your text.
Right.
I mean, it could be good reasons.
Stuff happens.
Probably not. Now, I think we have time for one more thing. You mentioned before we got on follow rates. Talk with the listeners a little bit about your what that is and what your thoughts are.
So at my past company, I worked at a large automotive technology company, global, $3 billion in revenue, about 6,000 employees or so. And I was able to hire directly on my own 1,200 people in the first 12 months. Those were entry-level customer service representatives working in the call center. So what we did, we formulated how many people it takes to interview, how many people at the very top of the funnel you have to interview, to how many don't make it past the hiring manager interview, to how many people show up day one. So it turned out we had to hire, I think, 60% more than we wanted to show up. So the target was 25 people per week minimum. That was our minimum number. Sometimes we had to hire 100 people in a week between the team. So to hire 25 people in a week and have 25 actual people show up, we had to submit probably 100 through interviews. And then we would be left with maybe 60 or 70 that had signed their offer letter, got their orientation letter, and then by the time day one hits, 25 people show up. So
ghosting.
So you can't just, if you want to hire 25 people in 1 week, set 25 people to start. You have to set, 50 or 60 sometimes, and then you're left with what you're looking for. So it's always good to try to calculate where they're falling out, how many are going to fall out on average, and then meet the final number.
Yep. Yeah. As it's probably a weird analogy, but I know that you like humor. So bear with me for a sec. I grew up in Canada, and I learned from the youngest of age that if you're playing hockey and you want to score about 3 goals a game, which is pretty normal, you're probably going to have to take about 30 shots. People can say, well, you shouldn't shoot unless you know you're going to score, right? You shouldn't extend an offer and onboard someone unless you know they're going to show up. And that's great in an ideal world, and we don't live in an ideal world. So if you extend as many offers and onboard exactly the right number of people, you are always going to be left short. How short? If it's really, really short, there's something wrong.
Right.
But if it's a fairly small fallout rate, that's just life. Well, Daniel, this has been great. Again, I always love it when I'm able to talk to TA professionals who are in the trenches and who know what really is happening on your side of the desk. So for the listeners who want to reach out to you, I've got your LinkedIn URL up there. I'm assuming that's probably a good way for them to contact you.
Yeah, feel free to connect or shoot me a note. I'm active on LinkedIn.
Awesome. Well, cheers. Have a great one.
Hey, you too. Bye.
Bye.
This episode is brought to you by LifeLock. It's Cybersecurity Awareness Month, and LifeLock has tips to protect your identity. Use strong passwords, set up multi-factor authentication, report phishing, and update the software on your devices. And for comprehensive identity protection, let LifeLock alert you to suspicious uses of your personal information. LifeLock also fixes identity theft, guaranteed or your money back. Stay smart, safe, and protected with a 30-day free trial at LifeLock.com/podcast. Terms apply.